Hi everyone, I'm Michael Gordon. We've been getting a lot of questions this year about the change of Prime Minister and the government's policy reset as it sets the scene for the election campaign this year. And this week, Prime Minister Hipkins finally announced the most significant policies that will be suspended or canned. Overall, and as we expected, there's not a lot in there that would alter our view of the wider economy. Most of the contentious policies were really around regulation or governance, rather than things like the level of spending or economic policy settings. There was one possible exception, the planned income insurance scheme. Now that could have had some important implications for how the labour market operates, but it is something that we hadn't built into our forecast at this point, just given that there were a lot of unanswered questions about just how it would work and a reasonably high chance that it wouldn't survive the election. The Prime Minister also announced that the minimum wage will increase by around 7% this year, starting from April. Now, I've talked about the minimum wage before, probably about this time last year. The effects of it tend to be spread quite unevenly. The biggest impact is usually in hospitality, which has a reasonably high share of minimum wage workers. But the effects tend to be quite diluted across the wider economy. And indeed, right now, with the very tight labour market, employers are already having to offer some substantial pay increases just to attract or retain workers. So that minimum wage may be less binding than it's been in past years. So overall, we think it'll only contribute around 0.1% to the inflation rate this year. There are, frankly, bigger issues to deal with out there. Thanks for watching. See you next week.